Have you watched those YouTube videos? Ones where they talk about how you can change your life in 6 months, how you can chase your dreams, and you know, those self-help videos are pretty much telling you can up and change your life. Whilst those videos are quite inspirational to me, I personally watch them, I've always felt disconnected from it. And I think I've felt disconnected from it because of the lack of display of the journey. So I figured, why not throw myself into the fire and see if I can make an album within 8 months. To a normal person, maybe that seems attainable. However, for myself, I have absolutely no prior knowledge. And you are going to be able to see firsthand whether I turn into a colossal failure or whether I surprise myself and the world and actually come out with a cohesive body of work at the end of this experiment. So make sure you get your popcorn ready because it's going to be a tumultuous fucking ride. Alrighty, so just a little bit of background. Hi, my name is Iman. I'm currently a 24-year-old broke uni student who is currently in her last year of a double degree in house science/applied science. Life is pretty tricky currently, so I work 4 jobs because, well, your girl's broke and ambitious, and I post here on the side when I get the chance. Now, I've had this channel for 6 years. OGs that have followed since the dark days would have known when I used to post my original songs in my bedroom with absolutely no care to maybe get a good enough camera. But nothing ever really came of it. But if I'm honest, as of late, I've realized that I've never tested the magnitude in which I can really change my life. Because the reality is, I've never broken my back for the things I've loved. I've only broken it for the things that have felt safe. So here's me in a fucking mood and hopefully finally share chapters of my life that have spent years collecting dust. Now, as a beginner with absolutely no knowledge of how to make an album, I'm going to be focusing on these key areas. 1. Cultivating a community. I want to cultivate a community who would actually listen to my stuff, but 2, who would resonate with what I have to say, what the messages I'm trying to relay through my music. 2nd is competence. Competence in songwriting, getting a hold of the basics, being able to articulate exactly what I'm envisioning, only because I write songs, but I don't write songs with the premise or the purpose of it ever being shared with the world. I'm allowed to do a shit job at it and not feel guilty about it, whereas once you're putting it out into the world, you have to refine it, you have to clarify what you're trying to say. Now, my next aspect that I want to focus on is networking circles. I know absolutely no one. I have no community, I have no sense of who to talk to about this or that. I don't even have the right equipment to do this, so we really are starting from scratch here. And the last thing I want to focus on is vision. I want to be able to come out of this whole experiment. I want to make sure that I've done exactly what is in my head. I've executed that, I've articulated it in not just a written way, but also sonically. You'll start to understand vision a lot more as I continue to talk about it. This will extend into how I want people to view it or treat it. So pretty much what I did was I just searched up producers in Melbourne. And for some unknown reason, I scrolled down a little bit and then I got to the site called Sound Better. So I clicked on it and I thought, okay, this seems like an approachable way to get someone who could produce a song for me. So I naturally just warmed up to the site. I scrolled down and I found a female. I don't know why I was necessarily drawn to her. I saw the female producer, I saw she was Melbourne, so I just felt like I could connect to it. Anyhow, I messaged her and it was actually a nice, seamless conversation between both of us. We just went back and forth between talking about what I want for my vision. She ended up saying that she can do it and if I could send a demo through this song. So I've never done a demo before, so this is my first time. I'll get straight into it. You claimed I always was some type of fever dream. 2 kids exchanging hearts, mine still is stuck on your street. And don't pretend my love never stained you. And don't act like you still don't check your review. My mother's worried now, I'm still the talk of the town. You've got your shitty crown, my kingdom fell to the ground. And don't pretend my love never bruised you. And don't forget the day when I still had you. I've sent a demo through now, it's just we're organizing vocals and recording it. Like I said, I don't know anything about recording. She's setting me up with a recording engineer, so someone who can probably help guide towards that. Right now we're in the planning stages of what I want, so I'm allowed to send through any sort of notes on production, anything that I'm thinking of. It's wild, but it's happening. How much would it actually physically cost to make an album? Based on what I've looked at SoundBetter, it's really just dependent on what, one, the level of expertise of the producer themselves, and two, how much you're willing to spend. You can get, you know, an industry level producer, probably make you a really, really good song, but you're gonna go broke. Now, the producer that I chose, she charged me $650 for a song. When you're looking at it from the outside and you're like, oh my goodness, $650 to make a song. If you wanna create a really, really awesome record, you have to be willing to fork out for it. No, seriously, if you're gonna do something risky, you better do it damn well. There's things such as mixing and mastering are just kind of the things that balance the volume of the track and make sure that it's radio ready, and those are additional costs. My situation, this is not going to be easy for me, and I think after being exposed to, you know, the fact that one song's going to cost me this much, I've never done this before, so I don't have monthly listeners, I don't have any prior work, I'm not established, no one knows me. Basically, I'm fucked. So it's easy for me to feel like this is a big failure, this is me reaching over my head, you know, this is going to be money down the drain. I have running thoughts about my probability of success. I don't know if I'm going to succeed. If I'm going to be honest, like, I can't not do this. I die to feel this alive all the time. And it's the strangest $650 that I've spent. After I came to terms with the fact that this is actually happening, I'm actually making an album, my brain was blazing with ideas. From production to album titles to songs that I had to unpack from the archives.
You claimed I always was some type of fever dream. Two kids exchanging hearts, mine still is stuck on your street.
Like, it's like a weird, like a synth. So like this. And then I had this thing where something is like in the background and it's atmospheric, and it's like now I'm in misery, da 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 da. Like it's backing. I'll show you. I'm playing memories of running around on your town street. And for a moment I had you, for a night, for a day, for a moment I had you, for a moment I had you. Now I plead in every shade of blue. Da da da, da da da. My pride was always 17. Alrighty, so we are on day 2. I spent all of yesterday working on, like, you know, my direction, kind of coming up with potential titles, album titles. I run into a bit of an issue, and I think this is going to be the first of a couple of hiccups that I'm going to run into. But pretty much the site that I was using, SoundBetter, it was quoting me USD and not AUD. So I was starting to, you know, prepare myself for the reality that this could happen. And I started to get hopeful, excited. Like, I can figure it out. I can make it work. I know how to make things work. But when I saw the actual conversion from USD to AUD, I was like, fuck. And then even more, I was like, is this my whole series just done then and there? Like, this is something that, you know, I do want to do, and it sucks that I feel this way like second day straight on. And I ended up reaching out to my producer, funding wise, and then seeing if she would be open to coming up with, you know, and not an installment plan, but, you know, paying security deposit and then organizing the rest of the funds later. And I've currently got a message. So she sent a message and I'm shit scared to open it, because I totally understand if she doesn't want to do that, because she doesn't want the fluff around. For me, it's like, I feel small now, because it's like, wow, there's other people who can actually be like no bullshit about this and just whip it out, whereas I'm just trying to find a way in which I can still do it, like keep both parties happy. So yeah, I don't want to stop this project here and call it a day and then wait for one day where I could magically have the opportunity, because the reality of life is that I'm not going to magically have the opportunity. I have to create it. Let's open this message and see what the damage is. Pretty much he said, hey man, just started working on the backtrack today, so I should have something for you by next week. Also, sorry about the USD thing. I didn't know you were in Australia until after I sent the quote. I'm happy to do the price in AUD because you didn't know. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, well, scratch the sadness that I had in the first half, because this is back on track. This is going. Even though it just started, it is going. So I just got an email from my producer and she's sent her first draft. Now I am like semi-anxious, and I think it's because this is the first time I'm going to hear someone else's take on my song. My creative vision is either going to be fulfilled or I'm going to be like, not quite. But I thought I'd give my reaction. Okay, let's play this draft.